Had it got quiet in here. Welcome, everybody. I'd like to thank you all for coming. My name's Dave Birch. I have the honor of chairing the Community Improvement Corporation of Paulding, chairing the board of directors, and we are the previous owners of this building and the two next door, the one that used to be next door, and the one on down from that. So we're very pleased to have a big part of this revitalization of our downtown. I like to start meetings with a Pledge of Allegiance, and if we'd all kind of rise and we'll face the courthouse over there. There's a flag over there in front of the courthouse, and honor our nation with I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. We've got a few dignitaries with us today that I'd like to introduce. First of all, our new county commissioner. Where's Clint? Clint Vance, right over there, brand new, is 2 weeks on the job now. Awesome. Glad to have you with us. We got Mayor of Paulding, Greg White. Welcome. Economic Development Director, Tim Copsey, doing an awesome job developing the economy in our county. And we've got our new building owners, Brian Young. Brian, president of Union Bank, and the new owner of this building right here. And we've got Ashley and Mitch Maybach, where'd they go? Right there. New owners of the building on the other end, which is called Grinder. Gonna be called? No? Grounded. Grounded. Okay. My mistake. I was close. Grounded. No, I was thinking coffee, grinding, you know. But we're going to hear from both of those and what their plans are, and it's exciting. A little bit quick about Community Improvement Corporation. Here is our Community Improvement Corporation is closely aligned with CORP, which is Community Revitalizing Paulding. Very close collaboration because we both have a lot of very common goals in mind, one of them being the revitalization of our downtown area. But you can see our mission statement there. We have both adopted that same mission statement, both organizations. They're two separate corporations. CORP is a 501c3, and CORP will run the downtown festivals, John Paulding Days, Tunes, Brews, and Barbecues, and the wine tasting project that we do annually. While the CIC buys and sells property and helps develop the economy in the village of Paulding. So there's a whole ton of working together between these two organizations, and along with economic development and Tim, and collaboration is the name of the game right now. But there's a packet of information over there on the table. There's several of them. It looks like this, and it's a little bit about CIC and the Corp and what we all do. And included in that is a calendar of activities we've got planned. So for the dates for our festivals downtown and our board meetings, there's also a membership application, conveniently enough. So if anybody would be interested in picking that up, that would be great. And then we've also adopted, Corp and the CIC have adopted 8 pillars of community involvement. We have taken a holistic approach towards revitalization, and that holistic approach includes, in addition to building revitalization, which is a big part of it, but once we revitalize these buildings, we need somebody to occupy them. And we know Walmart's not going to be coming into town anytime soon, and so we need to develop entrepreneurs to fill these storefronts and businesses. So entrepreneur training and entrepreneur support are a couple of the areas that are important pillars. Housing development. We all know that there's a shortage of housing in Paulding County, and we're desperate for places for people to live who want to come in and live here. So that's important. Quality of life, parks, recreation, entertainment, restaurants is one of our pillars. Economic development, working in conjunction with the county economic development team. Historical preservation, which includes a museum and downtown revitalization. We have plans this year to apply for downtown Paulding to become a registered historical district. So that's going to be a key part of 2021 for us. And then also management of other nonprofits and support of other nonprofits in their goals, and supporting them with board development, maybe records, grant writing, things like that we hope to put together over the next year or two. And also bringing in other organizations to collaborate with us, like we have with economic development, with Corp and the CIC. So pick up that little packet over there, and it has a lot of interesting stuff on there, including a membership application. And we'd love everybody to join us, because revitalization is not something just a few people do. It's a community project, and it requires community support, community involvement. And towards the last part of our agenda today, we're going to be asking you for some input in what you think our next project should be in the downtown Paulding. So be thinking about that as we're going through this. So now we're going to hear from our new building owners and new businesses coming into town, and we have Mitch and Ashley going to talk to us about their new coffee shop.
How is everybody today? Good? It's been a good Thursday? Good. Well, my name is Mitch, and this is Ashley, and we have a passion for coffee, don't we? We love drinking it. We're maybe addicted a little bit to it, and but really the passion for coffee and having a coffee shop starts with a lot of the relationships that we've built over the years, and you know, many of those relationships have started in, hey, you want to meet at a coffee shop? We lived in Fort Wayne for about 5 years, and we really met some amazing people, and we've realized that the community that we surround ourselves with is how we continue to press through the hard times of life. So with all of that and the experience that we've had, we feel like having a coffee shop in the town that we live is super important so that we can grow a community here. So what are we going to call it?
We're going to be calling it, we've finalized the name this week for sure, Grounded. And primarily, we do love coffee, but also I have had an in-home bakery for the last 8-10 years. And so we're excited to be able to utilize that too. So our plan is to make baked goods, not necessarily lunch yet, not any of that stuff, one step at a time here. But we are excited to be bringing that again to Paulding and seeing what comes from that. So, mainly us up here, what kind of questions do you guys have about what we're doing? What do you guys, what kind of questions do you have? Sorry.
Why choose downtown Paulding?
Well, I grew up just down the road, and so when we moved back, these properties were coming on the market, and so that would have been about a year, 2 years, year and a half ago, and we thought, oh, this would be cool, let's see what comes of it. We want to start a coffee shop. It's been a passion of mine, and ended up happening a year and a half later, but we're here. God's planted us here for a reason, and we're ready to see what that is and how we can help engage the community, so see what downtown Paulding can be like.
Besides coffee, what else is on the menu?
Well, we, with the last couple of months being, quarantined, spending a lot of time, we bake a lot. So between me and my mom, we have been baking a lot. So breads, I do primarily a lot of cookies and cakes and cupcakes. So we're going to be testing some menus out at the beginning to see what's going to be on the menu most of the time, but it's going to be a lot of sweets for the start, scones, maybe some savory stuff, but that's going to be our start.
I think also to add to that, one of the things that we want to do outside of having the coffee shop and bakery is the patio space outside over there is a really amazing space. I've been a musician for about 10 years, and so having some connections locally and in Fort Wayne, we would love to have live music and food trucks potentially. So that's also something that we're looking into.
Do you have a timeline for opening?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We don't necessarily have a timeline. We're waiting on a couple things with the state and trying to get our permitting, but we want to be opened to be in full gear for summertime, for sure.
Anybody else?
What is your niche? There are about a handful of coffee shops within Paulding County. What makes you special opposed to the rest of them?
I would have to say, being that we lived in Fort Wayne, one of our biggest things is taking coffee and tasting coffee. So we don't necessarily love sweet drinks ourselves. We drink a lot of black coffee. But bringing in some of the techniques, like pour over coffee and, help me out here, some different kind of nitro brews, possibly cold brew, and making people learn the real taste of coffee. Not something that's completely sweetened with sugar or some other things, but trying to bring that culture into Paulding too, because we see it so many different places, and we love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about cappuccinos and that kind of stuff?
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So I have been thinking about some things for a menu, and I love lattes, cappuccinos. We probably will be doing some frozen drinks, some things that the kids will like, trying to get those, high schoolers out and about and into our place. Anything else? We're really excited to be downtown, and we're looking forward to whatever comes with it.
Yeah.
So. Dave, back to you.
All right, next on the docket, we have Brian Young, president of Union Bank, who's going to give us details about what we're going to do with this
Well, I
building.
don't know about that, but thank you very much. And that's the exciting part of why we're here. Ashley, you're being successful when young people want to come back home or be in your communities. That's really our future, not necessarily some old farm kid that wants to get up here, and we want to be part of that success, though. But the first thing is, I've been asked to speak about 5 minutes. Those at the bank know that asking me to speak less than 5 minutes is nearly impossible, but if you could please let me know. I think the last time I was asked to speak and it was less than 5 minutes was at the drive-thru for my daughter's order, so it was almost under 5 minutes, but you'd have to understand her order. So with that, but I want to tell you a little bit why I'm excited to be here and why I'm excited to be exactly here actually today. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am from Putnam County. I'm a farm kid. Spent the first 30-some years of my life in Putnam County in Ohio, throughout Ohio. Went to school in Cedarville, so Ohio. In my early 30s, I thought, you know what, I want to see what else is out there. If I'm here, I want to know why I'm here. So I went to the West Coast, spent time in Phoenix, California. Great opportunities out there, did some things, and I was thinking of Ashley and Mitch. And then something happened in my life. I had a son, right? Wonderful, awesome. Shortly thereafter, I started to think a little differently, right? I started to think about, well, where's he going to go to school? Is he going to run the streets? I'm living in Phoenix, and I started downtown. What's that going to be like? Are we going to have neighbors? I mean, we built some nice fellowships out there. And I shortly then started to figure out that I wanted an experience back in a place just like this. And frankly, most of my life, those first 30 years, I saw buildings like this empty out, businesses closed. They burnt down, they got torn down, they got blown down, or they got knocked down, right? I spent 30 years of my life looking at our towns and seeing beautiful courthouses. Saw the exact same kind of courthouses out in the country in Arizona. It just made me miss home more. And I saw these things all going downhill. I came back. I still to this day can't figure out why the bank hired me, but they saw something in me maybe I didn't see in myself. Tried to talk them out of hiring me, said I didn't know anything about banking, but so far so good, I guess. So they've honored me with the opportunity to represent 250 kind people who care about others. Learned what community banking was from some very generous people. Took some time, and I finally figured it out. It clicked one day, and I said, "Oh, what we do is important. What we do actually has a positive impact. Can have a positive impact on people's lives." And just tell you about my experience and why we're in this building exactly too. So we started to see one day, to me it was about 10 years ago, somebody stood up and said, we're just not a bunch of hicks from the country. We add real value. Why are businesses moving here? Why do they want to hire us? And I learned that on the West Coast because we're stubborn, and I'm told that should be determined, not stubborn. We're stubborn, we're hardworking, we're honest. And we do what we say we're going to do. We're reliable. And people are realizing that. And the exciting part that I'm here today is this is all part of the process, probably a dream that I have personally about what the bank should do in its communities. I got a call, I don't know, it's been 4 or 5 months ago. COVID time is definitely a different pace I can't seem to figure out, but I got a call from this guy named Tim Copsey, I couldn't figure out his name. Finally got it right there at the end, heard he was a decent guy, talked to him, and said, had a few people talk to us, interested in maybe a bank coming to town. I went, okay. We'll look at some numbers, a little bit, this, that, and the other. Then something amazing happened. I met these 4 ladies in the park about 7 o'clock in the morning. Definitely looked like an illegal transaction going down. As we looked around, spent about an hour there, said a little bit about the bank. They said a little bit about who they were. Got in my truck, and I said, we're coming to Paulding. Why? Because they got it. They saw that they had a passion for serving others. What they did at work, what they did after work, was an indication of how they cared about the people around them. So we started down the road. I came back to Tim. I'm actually kind of interested. Little did I know that Tim knew every landowner in the county, I think, had keys to most of the buildings, took text at 8 o'clock at night. He'd be a great secretary. I've been trying to hire him away, but he made my life really easy. Really easy. We went through a bunch of buildings. I only had one thing when I came to town, drove to town, had never driven some of these side streets. What a great, so many nice things going on. I had one thing that I told Abby and her team. I said, any building but this one. I said, there is no way we'll ever have, this is the only building I cannot see anything for. So we look at all the buildings, opportunities, and there's other nice buildings in town. I'm excited for people to see that. We hired an expert, which she clearly paid under the table before he came, and we ended up right down here, and he said, okay, this is what you want. Yeah, this is what we want. He looked around, and he said, this is your building. He goes, this gives you everything on your list. And so as I'm learning, do you know who knows the most about Paulding County? It's the people from Paulding County. That's who's going to make us successful here. Stacy and Leslie and gosh, I've totally forgot the name. You're Abby, right? You're Abby. And I already knew Jason and Clint. They were okay, right? And I knew we were going to be successful here because it starts and it ends with people. I'm excited for Paulding County. I'm excited what's going on. I'm excited that we can be part of it. I'm excited that Ashley says, I want to raise my family here. I want to be part of this place. When we can be part of that, we succeed as a company. When you hire people who want to give to others and serve others, we bring something to the community. We bring some of those resources that entrepreneurs need. We bring some products. But most of all, we bring people who care and want to be part of the community. So thank you so much. I've gotten to know so many people here in Paulding, and it's just been a great experience, and just the opportunity to be part of this is just really exciting. So thank you very much. As I say, I don't know anything, but I know somebody who knows. So that's my job. Any questions about the bank or what we're doing? We're just starting plans on the building. A timeline is really hard to tell. When you don't know how long it's going to take to get windows, you don't know how long it's going to take to get some of the supplies. Our goal is to hire as many people in Paulding County as we possibly can, because the goal is to keep the money in the county, right? We serve each other. It's just a nice circular transaction when we serve each other in that way. We've got some initial plans for the facility here. Initially, it'll be the first floor. Certainly, a big goal is not to cover up the walls and to make it look like every other bank. It's what was this building to this community? How can we get it as close as we possibly can to what this community wants? So excited to be on the square and to be part of, with Rick and just what you guys are doing and moving forward, to just be part of that process. But try to bring back this building back to life. I don't know if we can go all the way back to 1888. We want heat and things, as I'm told, but you know, how do we keep the character? How do we you know, represent this county and what this building has meant to the county over the last, let me do the math there, you know, 132 years or so. So, you know, that's where we're at. But any other questions? Yes, sir. Ma'am?
Knowing that the building dates back to 1888, wanting to keep that local flavor and the historical part of this building, is that sort of the daunting part of this task for you guys?
You know, we have never done this before, so it's going to be a lot of fun for us too, but the bones of this building are really strong. You know, we've had people come in, look at the roof, look at the foundation and the walls. You know, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think it's got good bones. Yeah, we need to change a few things, how we're going to set up entrances and exits and things, but no, I think it's just going to be it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. We've got so many people sending us pictures, and we bought chairs from the building, and it's just going to be a lot of fun to gather that, and just, you know, all the people that you meet and the stories that you hear along the way through that process. Yes, ma'am.
What are the logistics of the drive-through that'll be?
Yeah, so we're working with Ashley about, you know, making sure that we get that there. I'm trying to think, I think everything's going to flow off of this street here because we realize the difficulties in turning left out here. So I think everything's going to flow this way. The other thing too, that we wanted to be on the square, we didn't think it was possible to have a drive-through. So we kind of got out in front of that, and we actually have a drive-through service, equivalent to a drive-through service on the north side of town already. So we have what's called an ITM instead of an ATM. If you go out there and you click the screen, you will speak to one of the ladies. They'll be able to do your transaction with technology. So what we couple and what you'll see in this space too, it'll be the, you know, at the end of the day, it's people, that's it. But you still need the technology to deliver the service to people so that they can do their jobs, or they can accomplish what they want the way that they need to do it with their schedules and their families and all of those things. So we're going to bring those together, and that's one thing we've done out there is we've brought that technology where you can go out there, and I was the first one to hit the button, and a screen came up, and you're doing a transaction with them. You want $20.13? That was my number. You get $20.13 out of that machine. I didn't have my debit card, right? I walked out there and I talked to Abby, and she took care of me. Threw some cash in there, made a deposit. I could throw a check in there. We can open accounts from there. So, you know, we're trying to use that technology, make it a little more convenient for people on the north side of town at the same time. So we're thrilled that there's a drive-through too. We did not expect to get a drive-through with these buildings. We just, how do you make it work? So happy when we kind of said, oh, you know, our big concern was we came to build things, not to tear things down.
Yeah.
But once we looked at the building, we said, you know, this is not something that's going to be rehabbed. So kind of talked about it, talked with Tim and some people in the community, and okay, let's is it okay if we tear that down and then make that work for our businesses? So we hesitated at that because we didn't want to come, oh great, they tore down another building and they put something up that looks like everywhere else. So we didn't want to be that person coming into town.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Yes, sir. I am absolutely going to defer that question to Abby.
I actually was thinking about that last night, after they tore the building down, and we're wondering, you know, are we gonna be able to get the brick clean enough just to rehab, or should we maybe put a mural up, because a lot of people are gonna be able to see it with drive-through with those businesses, so I think it definitely is something that we'll entertain in the future, so.
Other questions? Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for the extra time. I still haven't talked to you.
Thank you, Brian. Next up, Mayor Greg White for some comments.
This is exciting. I mean, really exciting, because I'm also part of the CIC on the board in court, and as well as being the mayor. And a year and a half ago, this was a dream. And that dream came true. So Mitch and Ashley, and I know Mitch left, thank you very much. Rick, thank you very much. And if you take what your dad has done, you'll be very successful, and we know you will. Thank you very much. Brian, thank you. I've known Abby for a long time, and the girls she's got working for her, they do an excellent job. So thank you very much for thinking of Paulding. It's exciting. And what I find exciting about it, and I think Dave mentioned it a little bit, is the young people that are a part of this. You know, they're coming to Paulding, they're working here, you know, and it's nice to see the younger people come back, and hopefully it pulls the younger people back in here with the new businesses. They can see that successful business like Union Bank and so on, and the coffee shop, and the trucking company. So my job here is to welcome you to the village. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call me. I'd be more than willing to sit down and talk. We'll do whatever we can do if you need anything. Abby knows the same thing. She called me the other day for a permit or something. And the girl said, well, I said to the girls on the phone, I said, tell her I'll bring it over to her. 5 minutes later, she had a permit. She says, yeah, it ain't what you know, it's who you know. So, but again, thank you very much. We're excited to have you here, and whatever we can do to make it go well for you, please don't hesitate to ask.
And just to add a quick comment onto the welcoming the young people into this. You know, Greg and I are the old farts in town here. Barely. And we would like to retire and start working on the bucket list one of these days. So come forward and take our places. And next, I'd like to introduce Tim Copsey, Director of Economic Development for Paulding County. He has done a spectacular job in the, 12 months that you've been in this job, right? Yeah. From ground zero and knowing not too much to really generate some activity and some action. And we appreciate all you've done. Thank you, Dave. Sure.
Thank you, and thank you for having me, and everyone, thank you for coming and taking the time to invest into listening about our community and our county. I wanted to back up a little bit. Dave talked on it earlier, and Brian touched on it as well. The whole thing since in the 12 months that I've been here that we've tried to promote is collaboration. It's no longer the individual villages anymore, or the individual townships in our county that are going to make it to get by. We're all going to have to do things together. So that collaboration actually started back around June. We pulled a realtors meeting together. We identified 13 realtors in our county that were actively selling real estate in some way, shape, or form, invited all of them to come and join us for a day to put together a plan of how we could have a one-stop shop for all the businesses, the business properties and buildings that were in the county that were available for sale. Of those 13, 7 responded. The 7th one was interesting because they said, Tim, why would we do that? And I said, because we want to try and promote and sell Paulding County. And their response to me was, the commercial property doesn't move in Paulding County, we don't want to be included. And that was exactly the fire I needed. The 6 realtors that joined us, we had a great meeting. We had great discussion. We put together some parameters of what we should and shouldn't promote to begin with. And we chose our Paulding County Economic Development website to be that land. So every time you go there, you can see all of the real estate buildings and commercial properties that are for sale. Since June, these 3 buildings were number 15, 16, and 17 and selling in Paulding County that we're aware of. Since this one sold, the 18th one, we've sold one more in Antwerp. So I think it's working. It's collaboration that makes it happen. Because we had done all that legwork and groundwork, when Brian and I talked, it wasn't, let me go out and see what I can find out for you. We were able to show him and tell him immediately what was out there, what was available, and expedite their thought process. Because if we delayed in time, what are they gonna do? They're gonna look somewhere else. We have to be able to attract businesses, we have to be able to attend to their needs, and we have to be able to do that quickly, efficiently, and smartly. And that's what the goal of the Economic Development Office is. Greg sold himself short. He's also a member of the Economic Development team. Jim States is here. He's a member of the Economic Development team. We have a great group of leaders that give me the direction that I need to go and what we need to do to make and turn this county into something, not just a drive-through county, something that they're willing to stop here for and make investment, whether it be money, life, or family. We thank Ashley and Mitch for doing that with us as well. We appreciate Rick's support all the time. We thank the Union Bank for choosing us to be that step with us. Anytime that you have any questions, comments, or concerns, good or bad, about the county, please don't hesitate to call our office. We'll be glad to walk through them, talk through them, see what we can do. But together we are Paulding County strong, and we welcome your new businesses to be part of that. Thank you. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. All right, that's the bulk of our agenda. What we have now is a little time that I'd like to solicit ideas or thoughts from you about what priorities or what things you would like to see as our next CIC project in Paulding, downtown Paulding. I'll let you know one of the other projects we've got in the works is CIC owns some farm acreage right now out on Gasser Road. And we annexed that into the village last summer. And we're in the process now of getting water and sewer out there so that we can develop that as part of an industrial park. There's 3 plants out there, plastics company, a steel plant, and Northwest Stamping out there that they bend frames to make frames for cars, automobile seats. So we've got 3 out there, and that building was a CIC project. Actually, Northwest Stamping was a CIC project about 25 years ago. So we've got some history of doing projects like that, but the idea is to take the land that we own out there and develop it into another factory or plant. So that's something that's kind of in the works right now, and we'll be able to ramp that one up as soon as we get water and sewer out there, which a year from now, we should have water and sewer in that area. So, other ideas, priorities for Paulding downtown? Yes?